Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand.
Hey, everybody.
Are you executing the same kind of marketing campaign that most agents are, or business owners or entrepreneurs? It's called spray and pray.
The old spray and pray.
Yep. Pretty much self-explanatory, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. If this sounds familiar, you need to stop experimenting.
And start defining.
Yeah. Stop now, please. For all of us.
So for those of you who don't know us well, I'm Tanya Eberhard. I'm the founder of BrandFace, and we help business stars differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding.
Yep. I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was actually a client before I became a partner, and we're the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe. And I thank you for joining us on our live. We're going to talk about spray and pray marketing and getting rid of the experiments, folks.
Yep. You know, when you spend a lot of time, money, and effort to market yourself, you just want to make sure that it's the right message and image. And that's where people tend to get stuck.
Yeah, for sure. And that means making sure that it's authentic to you and speaks exactly to who you were trying to do business with. Let me say that again. It has to be authentic to you, right? Something you bring to the table. And it has to speak to the very people you're trying to attract.
Because, you know, remember, experiments are for science class. And if you were in some of the science classes I was in, some of those experiments can go very wrong. Very wrong.
We made them go wrong on purpose a lot of times.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
We were sort of cut from the same cloth there.
Yeah.
Whatever we could do, right?
You know, what does this button do type of experiments.
If you're in the South, it's, hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah, or hold my beer or something like that, you know, or get your helmet. Like, these are all like danger signs, you know what I mean? And so are, hey, sign this 12-month contract on my advertiser, whether it works or not. Those are experiments you don't want to do. You don't want to do.
Exactly. So for those of you who are wondering, gosh, do I have a spray and pray marketing plan? Well, we're going to give you some examples here today, and let's hope you don't. But honestly, a lot of people do, and they don't even realize it. I did for many years, nearly 2 decades worth. Well, when I started in radio back in 1988, I'm showing my age here, guys. I noticed right away that when I went to meet with clients and would take them a commercial script to take a look at, to preview before they came into the studio to cut their commercials, the commercial script was only either 30 seconds long or 60 seconds long. Those were the main length of a commercial, and still are today for the most part. And they wanted everything crammed into that commercial. And I mean everything. They want their physical address. And
that kind of thing.
That's it.
Like, what did he?
That's what I just said.
I don't know what that guy do. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does it for.
See, I should have had you cutting all the radio commercials. We could have fit it all in if he did the voiceovers.
They'd still not known who they were doing business with or what they were trying to
Well, they wouldn't have, but you know, it would have intrigued you just had to pronounce the business name right first and then just go for it, right? Go from there fast as you can go. So one of the problems with the spray and pray approach is you're trying to fit too much information in. And that comes as a result of not being defined, right? And when we take a look at defining someone for the purpose of building that personal brand because you are the face of your business to the world, we take a look at a couple of different things. Number one, we take a look at who it is you're trying to attract into your business and life.
Most important part.
Exactly. And the second thing is we try to look at what it is that sets you apart. And the truth is there are lots of things that set you apart. You know, most of the time when I ask somebody on a call or any of our team members ask, okay, what do you feel truly sets you apart, makes you different from most other people in your industry? And if you say to them, tell me one thing, they're going to give you 15. That's okay, because it is true that there could be 15, there could be 35 things that set you apart from somebody else in your industry, but you can't market all 35 of those or 15 or even 5. You really need to market that one point of differentiation because that is your marketing hook. Think of it again. We've talked about this. It's like your brand being like a book. You can't fit the entire contents of the book, which is your story, on the cover. But you have to have something on the cover that captures attention, gets them to immediately see what you stand for, to get them to want to look inside that book.
Right.
So that's kind of what my contribution to that is. That is one way that people do it all wrong, is they try to put everything in there because they don't have anything defined.
Yeah. Like you see this on billboards a lot. Like people have a billboard and you might know that they're in real estate business, but then they've got this huge, like epic tome, like written in script, and like you can't read it. And you're like, what? I have no idea what I'm doing here. Like, why would I even want to call this person? Because there's no defined purpose that is put out there. One message that people can get at 80 miles an hour, because you have to keep, you have to think about that. Another example is, and I was guilty of this for a long time in my spray and pray days. We had a lot of trucks on the road and company vehicles on the road. And when Tanya showed up to help me with my business, she was like, they all have like different logos and half of them have different phone numbers.
It was like multiple personality real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of big mistake, right?
It's showing up today.
I know. And like, it was, it's confusing. It's like I'm going to go back to billboards for a second. I watch billboards because being a national company and we're all around in different states all the time. There are certain guys that I follow in different states that I'm in. Well, one example of that is in Greenville, really the whole state of South Carolina. There's two guys that sort of are competing, if you will, on these billboards. One of them keeps a distinct message. It's the exact same message every time. The other guy has a much smaller company, and he's got a different bill. Every time you pass a different billboard, you got a different message. He's wearing a different outfit. He's doing a different theme. And the only thing that stays consistent is a phone number. But the rest of it, his only consistency is non-consistent. And I'm sure you that is still spray and pray. It's not effective advertising because it's not targeted.
Yeah, it's just like back in the radio and television days, people would say, okay, if I give you 3 commercials, let's just rotate those 3 commercials at the same time. And I would say to them, no, do not do that, because what you're doing is you're impacting people a third of the time, because each time they hear one of those 3 commercials, they've heard this one a third, this one a third, and this one a third, and they haven't heard anything at 100%. So you want to just pound them over the head with that same message over and over and over again until you achieve that consistency and that repetition. And then after a certain time frame, usually a month or so, change that message to something entirely different. It could be a month, it could be 90 days. I've had some people run a commercial for up to a year and never replace it and do extremely well.
We do that now. We got one radio commercial that's been running 2 years. We never stop it because it's still relevant. The message is still exactly the same, and it still pulls in 17% of our phone calls. Yeah. So why change it?
So the next reason that a lot of people end up with a spray and pray strategy is that they're trying a little of everything. They just want to throw anything up against the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
And it's okay to experiment and try different types of advertising to see which actually works best for you. But you've got to pay attention to what you're blaming for failed advertising.
Agreed.
You cannot always, most of the time, in fact, you cannot blame the marketing platform. So for instance, if you're on radio, if you're on a billboard, if you're sending postcards, if you're doing Facebook ads, whatever that is, that medium exists to get a message to your ideal customer. So as long as your ideal customer is on the other side of that marketing platform, and the timing is right, not meaning, not 11:01 p.m. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the time of the year, the season, so forth, depending on your business. Then you've got a marketing vehicle that will actually get the message to the customer. The message that goes to that customer, that message and image, that's called your brand.
Yeah.
And if that message and image is not defined, developed, and displayed correctly and consistently, guess what you have? You have spray and pray.
Yep.
And we encourage people to do choose 3 or 4 marketing platforms that you feel comfortable with, that you can afford to execute on a regular basis, and go with it. Test only 3 or 4 at a time. You might find that 2 of them you didn't enjoy, they didn't work out as well for you just because they were reaching the wrong person, type of people, whatever that is. And you may switch those out over time, but at any given time, there's really no need to have 8, 10, 15 places that you advertise, especially if you're a real estate agent, which is a lot of what we do working with agents and brokers. You're not advertising on 15 different platforms. You're usually focusing on 3 or 4, and that's the keyword focus.
It is. Yeah, it always, shrinking your farming area down in your focus is so important, guys. We can't tell you. It's all about clear messaging. And like Tanya said, it's okay to shoot a few darts out and say, hey, I want to try this. We're always doing that. I'm always looking for another vehicle in which I can try to get the real estate message out. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I stay away. I've got some golden rules I don't mind sharing with you. I stay away from year-long contracts of anything, because anybody trying to get you to sign up for a year-long contract, they know most likely it doesn't work. That's why they need the contract, because if you just signed up and it worked, well, you would just keep paying because it would continue to work.
It's too commonsensical.
It's too common sense. But I've been caught in that trap. And listen, I'm not saying you don't need to sign up when you're contract on stuff sometimes. Sometimes you have to. Billboards, certain platforms that send you leads and leads by the zip code and things like that. I'm not telling you not to, but I'm telling you to do your research first and foremost, because there are times it makes sense. There are times that don't. I can tell you as a golden rule, with the exception of the billboards, I never sign a 1-year contract on anything, because I know it ain't gonna work. I'll sign a 6-month contract. And then other things you want to do is you want to try to get that clear messaging into mediums and where it doesn't cost you to test them, right? Because the same message that you're going to put on a high-speed billboard, it might be the same message you're going to put on a radio. It might be the same message you're going to do on a mail out, a big, large mail out. You could test that on your social media for free. And you would test it at different times of the day to see what kind of engagement that it does cause. And then by doing that, you can start to go spend money somewhere where this message, once you've perfected the message, if you will. So, but you want to be sure that you're focused on one message, like we've talked about, and that it is clear and concise. And like I said earlier, what do? It has to be important to your ideal customer, and it has to be authentic to you. You've got to be able to live whatever that message is. Okay, so don't promise nothing you can't deliver, obviously.
That's true. And that leads us to, why do we do videos like this? Why do we do what we do? And it is because everybody has a story, right? And your story is important to somebody. If I have 2 different people standing in front of me and I know about one person, I know some personal things about them. I might know their family. I know why they chose to do what they are doing today. I know how that's going to help me and why they're so passionate about it. And the other person just has a sign on them that says realtor, right? Which one am I most likely to end up doing business with? The one who has their story defined, developed, and displayed. Right. And everybody deserves a story, just like everybody deserves a book. That's, that's the truth.
We're all special. We're all made unique.
Absolutely. So if you have any questions about this, hey, one of the things you might want to do is join one of our Facebook groups. We have 2 of them for real estate specific. It's Build Your Real Estate Brand. Build Your Real Estate Brand. For business stars, meaning any other business owner or entrepreneur in any other industry, it's called Build Your Business Star Brand. So wherever you fall in line, go ahead and join us on one of those groups, because we do content like this and lots of other great valuable content and links in there all the time. And our mission is to help you learn how to differentiate yourself, define, develop, and display that, and put it out there to the world to attract the people you deserve in your life. So that's my spiel, guys.
I like it. And you also could go to discussyourbrand.com if you think you have a brand or you know a little bit about it. You want to know if you're on the right track about it, or if you just want to know how to get started. We love to talk to you. It's a free 30-minute session. You call us anytime. Discussyourbrand.com and book an appointment. We'd love to talk to you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us on this live, and we'll hope to see you again soon. We're going to try to do these we're going to try harder. As Yoda says, it is do, don't try, right?
There's
what
no
does he
such
say?
thing as try.
There's no such thing as try.
Yeah.
There's only do.
Do or don't.
That's
do.
right.
Yeah,
So
that's
we'll
exactly
be doing
right.
these
Love
every
it.
Wednesday.
Well, we're going to do it then, folks. You know what I mean? And you can hold us accountable for that. Hope you get some value out of it, obviously. Listen, it's all about prosperity. And when we say prosperity, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about the 360 of an abundant life that we truly wish for every one of you guys. We know at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, folks, especially with your brand, especially in 2021. And thank you, Miss Tanya.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.